Everyone, welcome to Multi-Need Solution TV. And on today's edition, we are going to be having a wonderful discussion with the Prof himself on one of the issues that has been trending in Nigeria. For so long, we've been discussing about the youth and their agitation and what they are requesting or demanding from the government of Nigeria. And a lot of things have transpired so far, and some of these issues are the things that we are going to be discussing today. And I'm not alone in the studio. I have a wonderful professor with us today. And Professor, good morning.
Good morning, Stanley. It's good to be here. I'm good to be here. It's exciting for me to be here today.
All right.
In your introduction, you talked about what I've been trending all week long. ENDSARS protests that covered the entire nation, and it's a privilege and opportunity for me to speak on the issues, especially for me. We'll be discussing. I'll give you my position, my take on the way forward.
All right, thank you, Professor, and it's nice having you on the program. Well, Professor, the issue here is that we're in democracy, and it's believed that everyone has the right to protest, irrespective of the form it's coming from. As the youth, social media has been one of the tools that the youth are so conversant with, and through this medium, they have been able to, voice out their opinion, voice out their own worries to the government. And it all started with the ENDSARS hashtag on Twitter, and it has trended all over the world. And now the whole world knows about what is going on in the Nigerian system and what the youth have to, are discussing and asking. So the question is, do they really have the right to protest or their demand?
Yes, Stanley, it's a good question. And as we all know, Nigeria is a signatory to everyone's rights to protest peacefully, to agitate peacefully. But what you don't have right to do is to go about denying the rest members of the community the right of every member of the nation to go about their daily, normal, peaceful business activities. What you don't have right to do is to barricade the street, is to block the street, is to set different school buildings on fire. What you don't have right to do is to set critical infrastructures on fire. What you don't have right to do is to go about looting people's businesses, looting people's shops. But yes, you have right to protest, as long as you keep it peaceful. You are not going about with violence. You are not going about threatening lives. You are not going about
Professor, talking about violence, it's alleged that the original people who started this protest and those who are actually clamoring for a change, that they are different from people who are causing mayhem in society. If you ask them, they say that it's hoodlums, thugs that are sent after them. There are so many videos to back this up that they even had to, form their own security to even shield them against those thugs and hoodlums who are actually burning buildings, setting cars on fire, and causing other mayhems in the society. Because they say that their protest is based on peace. Because from the generation of this youth, they are not clamoring because they are Hausa, because they are Yoruba, because they are Igbo. These are people who are united in fighting one cause.
Thank you, Stanley. You're talking about unity. These youths came out with a united force, with a united mind, with a united business. They knew what they wanted. They were demanding for good governance. They demanded for an end to corruption. They demanded for an end to impunity. They demanded for an end to nepotism in governance. They demanded for the merit system employ the most qualified individual for an open job, a job that needs to be filled. They demanded that the money meant to develop critical infrastructure, road networks, electricity, meaning power, school infrastructures, healthcare infrastructure, the money meant for that, that money should not be looted by the ruling class. That's what they were demanding for. They were genuine their demand. And the last time I checked, I counted what they demanded. It was 5. They also, I guess, yes, the title, they linked everything to ENDSARS.
Because of police
Yes,
brutality.
yes, ENDSARS, and they extended that to
And the bad government.
end police brutality. Then they extended that to end corruption. Then more extension of that demand was end bad governance. We all know what governance is. Governance entails so many things. They wanted, the summary of what they wanted was, let there be an equal starting point, equal access
Equal distribution.
by every Nigerian citizen to the resources that God has given us in this country.
All right, Professor, those demands escalated to violence. I'm going to pick a reference from what happened at the electric toll gate. That was where the genesis of the violence all began, and we witnessed horror. We witnessed something that is not found in democracy. Time with the demands of the youth. A very horrible incident, took place at the toll gate, Lekki toll gate, on Thursday. A lot of stories that came out and a lot of visuals that came out from the incident, projected a very bad image for us as Nigerians, for our democracy, and also for the government. Are you saying that the actions taken by the police force or the military or the Nigerian forces combined, that is justified to open fire against unarmed protesters who are in democracy in a country like Nigeria?
Stanley, first of all, let me quickly review some of the reasons why these youths engaged in this protest, why they made all these demands. We all know some of them that were there. Some of them left university over 10 years ago. They have no job, they have no gainful employment. It was hardship, suffering, unemployment, blackouts all over Nigeria. No electricity, no road networks, no place for them to go and seek for gainful employment. Hunger was the demand, poverty everywhere. And they feel that the government has not done enough, has not provided enough, have not made enough investment in critical infrastructure to create the enabling environment for the flight of capital and investors to come into Nigeria, to invest in Nigeria. There is no power, there is no electricity. So can it remain like that? Will they be going around in circle in circle? The ruling class, the politicians, every election cycle will come and make promises that nobody can. Now, deceit and lies. These are some of the reasons why they say enough is enough. We need to end this. And they began, but I on my own was shocked the large scale of the youths that trooped out all over Nigeria. For the first 1 week, this protest was very peaceful. Was very, very peaceful. They conducted themselves in a very civilized, democratic manner. They were not violent, they did not barricade streets, they did not barricade roads. They organized, it was very well organized, it was leaderless. There was no one particular individual or some group of individuals that I know that I was leading them. Maybe they were all leading in the background. But the only thing I know that they had ambulances, they had food was coming in, money was coming in. They were not in anybody's way for the first 1 week. And they listed their demands, but the federal government on our own part also heeded the demands, was communicating back to the youth that we had your demands. It was peaceful. No one knows until after the first 1 week or a week and a half that some interest, I don't know, maybe political interest, some groups started to import thoughts in. On my own, I saw a lorry loaded with criminals, hoodlums. They were jumping out from this lorry with machete, with spades, with stones, with rocks, with bricks. What were they doing with it? They started attacking these peaceful protesters. In Apple division, in Abuja, cars. I'm told that I learned that cars were set ablaze, and I saw cars in flames. In flames. According to eyewitnesses,
As a government or as a trained military personnel, are you supposed to open fire on everybody? Because you feel that people have infiltrated other people's ranks. What are the right steps that as a force you are supposed to do in order to separate those who are peaceful, who are organized, who are well structured, from the hoodlums, from the touts, and from those thugs?
Every well organized trains military force, police force, they have all been given this training on how to be able to restrain violence, how to be able to control and manage crowd. It was crowd control we are talking about here. They had the training. They didn't have to kill anybody with life. They didn't have to shoot their fellow citizens, their brothers and sisters. We are all brothers and sisters of one nation. We are seeking for unity in this country. You did not have to take a life to achieve that purpose. You are a federal government. Who bought those guns? Who bought those bullets? Who paid for the uniform they wear? But at this point, the army has come out to say that they did not do it. So that is left now. The burden is on the shoulder of the federal government, the state governments, to be able to carry out a thorough investigation. Let us see how those people who gave the order, were they really Nigerian military? Because this time, today, as at this moment, they said, let everybody wait for the investigation for the to come out.
So shots have been fired,
yes,
and people have died. So families are in pain.
Yes.
Some are in disarray at this point.
That is what I'm saying.
Who should bear the responsibility at this critical point?
For now, because as a government, we should, even if this thing was done by outside forces, the federal government, we have the capability, 60 years after independence that we have governed ourselves, we should have the capability to be able to be gathering intelligence that should keep us safe. Even if these attackers were to come from outside, how did they come in? Where is the government? Where is the intelligence? Does it mean our government is not gathering intelligence to protect us? The military is not set up. We are not having our military to be killing us. Those guns, those bullets, is the money, is the people's money that paid for it. Those guns, those bullets were not given to the military so that they can turn it around and start killing their brothers, start killing their citizens, start killing their sisters, start killing the Nigerian people. It was meant for them to protect and defend our borders, to keep us safe from an outside attack, to keep us safe from outside invasion. It wasn't meant for them to trigger, to point that trigger. With those bullets were not meant to take the lives of Nigerian citizens. The military and the police, they have been given, I am sure, sufficient training on how to restrain, on how to control and manage crowd without using live bullets.
In all this that you say, and with what happened, I'm left to ask this question: how valuable is human life in Nigeria?
As of today now, Nigerian people, the life of a Nigerian citizen is not valuable at all. You are no longer proud to say you are a Nigerian, because your life today, my life, our lives have become meaningless. We are being treated like fowls, like flies, like animals. Life being taken every day. The governor of Zamfara State, I was hearing in a news conference, was saying, please give us more security, we need more people. Even as this was going on, at this protests, these killings, these hooligans were attacking and killing with the peaceful protesters, attacking them with machetes and sticks and bricks and setting their property and lives on fire. In Zamfara State and some of the northern states, bandits were doing their own in Katsina, in Zamfara, in Maiduguri, and in other northern states, Plateau, Benue. Bandits were kidnapping people, terrorists were killing people, kidnappers were kidnapping people, rapists were doing their own. So life is no more meaningful again here in Nigeria. People just die like fowls. Dead body littering the streets everywhere. So we need to redirect our cause. We need to redirect our strength. We need to begin to tap from the strength of our diversity. Diversity is supposed to mean strength. It's supposed to be strength. But right now, what is going on? Our diversity is focusing, we are using it to focus, to divide Nigeria more and more. Maybe that you may want to say, Professor Atobe, now, what is the way forward? I don't know.
Professor Atobe?
Yes.
The governor of Lagos State that the forces that acted were beyond his control on that fateful night. What does that tell you? What does that tell the common Nigerians?
Well, we have to believe the governor on the face value. We are not in his mind. If that is true, that means there's no coordination between the state governments and the federal government. Because, let's face it, let's take politics out of it.
This is not about politics. This is about being responsible.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say, let's take politics out of it. Let's take division, religious, ethnic divisions out of it. Federal government is the federal government of Nigeria. Federal government of Nigeria. Federal Republic of Nigeria. This government, the Republic of Nigeria, is governed here from the center. It's a central government. We are not running a regionalized governance structure. Every state governance is linked, gets directive from the federal government. If what the governor of Lagos State is accurate, if that is what happened, then something must have gone wrong somewhere. But we have not yet heard from the federal government. The federal government have not accepted or refuted what the governor of Lagos State has said, that he was not aware that the order to go there and shoot did not come from him, that he didn't order that shooting. Then who ordered it? The army, the federal army owned by the federal government, owned by the federal Nigerian people, empowered by the Nigerian people to protect us, to keep us safe, have said we did not do it. Who did it? Who did it? Who now ordered those that loaded in their vehicles? They traveled from wherever they came from to go to Lekki and start shooting people that were defenseless, that were unarmed, that were peaceful. If we have good governance in Nigeria today, who will benefit? Who will be the beneficiary? All of us, you, myself, everybody will benefit from bad government. The North, the South, the APC, PDP, SDP, NNPC, ADP, every member of all political parties will govern. Christian, Muslims will govern. Youth, old will govern. Children will benefit. Old people will benefit. Healthcare will benefit. Schools will benefit. Education will benefit. Roads will benefit. Electricity, power will benefit. Road we will be free to travel. Unemployed youth will get jobs. Money meant for infrastructural development will become available. Will no longer be ending up in the private pocket. The ruling class will benefit. The governed, the ruled will benefit if we have good governance in Nigeria today.
All right, thank you, Professor. And it has been a wonderful discussion. Even though we have a lot of things that we are supposed to be, we're talking about, a whole lot have actually transpired in the last few weeks. The youth of this nation are saying that they are proud to have been born in this generation. That the generation that's actually making everybody proud. That they have stood up for themselves, they have stood up for what they believe, they have stood up for a better life. And I'm sure that they are going to get every bit of what they demand, because I don't believe that what they have demanded is wrong. I don't believe that what they have demanded, that they don't have right to each and every of their requests. So another note, Professor, in a few words, what I advise for the youth, because I believe that they have a lot to hear from.
Yes,
just in a few sentences.
Yes, what I want to say to the youth out there, that your cause is not lost. The advice and my suggestion to the youth is that they should stay their grounds, non-violence, making demands on those that govern you, that rule you, channeling it peacefully, through a peaceful manner, through negotiation, through peaceful means, same way you did it, non-violence. Because if you bring violence in, more lives again will be taken, more properties will be lost, more lives will be lost. It is your right to protest, to make demand, but you have to do it. You have to follow the rules, you have to follow the order. We are a nation governed by rules and law, by order, by structure, by routine. Yes, my suggestion continues to include that, yes, tell your government, tell your senators, tell your House of Rep members, your governors, your local government, that is, make your demand known. You can write, you can place a call, you can organize and arrange a town hall meeting, invite them. But when you make demand, you have to give time, because this thing has taken 60 years, the first 60 years and 60 years of our independence to build up. It didn't build up in 1 year, it didn't begin with this government. It's not going to begin with the next government. This thing, you remember that Nigeria faced in the past very worst moments, coup, counter coups, and we've only been witnessing democracy. In the 60 years of our existence, democracy, we have only have a continual democracy for the last 20 years. But when you make demands, give the government, federal and state and local, enough time, sufficient time to package the solutions to the demand.
All right.
But these things take time. Some of them short can be met immediately. Some it might take some 5 years, 6 years. We will do it.
Okay, Professor. I want
that's my
to.
suggestion.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and you have heard it from the professor himself. He said you should make your demands known. You should call your senators, your House of Rep. But in as much as you are doing that, you should also give time. It's very important to give time so that some of these demands can actually be met. Some are short terms, some are long terms. And Professor, I want to thank you for your time with us on this program. As always, we hope that anytime we call on you, you'll always be available to shed light on some of the issues that go on in the society. And it's a pleasure having you on today's program.
Stanley, thank you so much for inviting me to speak in your program, Multi-Needs Solution TV. It's a great pleasure. I was invited to speak on this issue.
All right, thank you. This is still Multi-Needs TV, and you remember you can actually make your comment, you can actually share this video, you can actually contribute by airing your opinion, and we'll come to you every weekdays, and we'll make sure that you get to hear what goes on in our society and how this issue affects our everyday life, how it affects the common man, how it affects even the highly placed individuals in this society, because Nigeria is Nigeria for all, and we believe that if you don't take action, nothing will be done. Well, we will see you on our next edition of the program. Still stay tuned, subscribe, and leave a comment for us in the comment section. Goodbye.